Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're embarking on a journey into what's honestly one of the most fascinating spiritual stories of the modern era. We're going to unpack the life and legacy of Neem Karoli Baba, affectionately known by his devotees as Maharaj Ji, and the incredibly unique sanctuary he built, Kainchi Dham. It's a remarkable narrative, you guys, one that literally bridges quiet rural Indian villages with the absolute pinnacle of global technology.
Okay, let's dive into this. What exactly draws the world's leading tech architects to a quiet, secluded mountain ashram in India? I mean, it's an incredible contrast, right? On one hand, you have this simple, peaceful retreat tucked away in the hills of Uttarakhand. And on the other hand, you have massive global icons, the literal architects of our modern digital world, treating this place as a necessary pilgrimage. It creates an immediate knowledge gap. What in the world is happening here that connects these two entirely different worlds?
Just to give you an idea of the sheer scale we're talking about, tech titans like Apple's Steve Jobs and Meta's Mark Zuckerberg traveled halfway across the globe specifically to visit this location. No, this wasn't just a random vacation, they were seekers at Kainchi Dham. This kind of global reach absolutely validates the monumental influence of the ashram, but it begs the question, doesn't it? Who exactly was the man that inspired such an epic journey, and what were they hoping to find?
Section 1. Origins of the Saint. Let's travel back in time to see where it all began.
So, born around the year 1900 in the village of Akbarpur, he actually started life in a pretty ordinary Brahmin family. But even from a very young age, his disposition was exceptionally calm, kind, and deeply spiritual. He showed this profound interest in devotion and just spending time with holy men, even as a kid. Now, following the social customs of the time, he was married young and lived a family life for a bit, but his heart really wasn't in worldly affairs. Instead, his youth was characterized by wandering. He repeatedly left home to go on pilgrimages, essentially dedicating the vast majority of his life to spiritual practice, service, and devotion. Now, what's really interesting about this is that his birth name was actually Lakshman Narayan Sharma. But, as you probably guessed, the world doesn't know him by that name. The renowned title, Neem Karoli Baba, is actually geographical. It came from a village called Neem Karoli in the Farrukhabad district of Uttar Pradesh. He lived there for a while, guiding a lot of people, and eventually folks just started referring to him by the name of that place, Neem Karoli Baba, or Neem Karoli Baba. And that's the name that ultimately spread like wildfire across India, and eventually the entire world.
Section 2. Establishing Kainchi Dham.
The year was 1964. After years of traveling to numerous pilgrimage sites across India, never really staying in one place permanently but always spreading a message of love and service, this was when he officially established the Kainchi Dham ashram. He chose this quiet, beautifully peaceful mountainous location in the Nainital district. It was right here that his lifelong journey of wandering finally transformed into a fixed center of spiritual peace.
And hey, if you're wondering about the name of the ashram, Kainchi literally translates to scissors in Hindi. So why name a spiritual sanctuary after office supplies? Well, it's entirely geographical. Right next to the ashram, the road takes two very sharp turns that look exactly like an open pair of scissors. It's a fascinating, practical little detail that anchors this highly mystical location right into the physical landscape. Now, while the name came from the road, the heart of the ashram definitely came from devotion. Maharaj Ji was a supreme devotee of Lord Hanuman. Because of this deep personal devotion, a Hanuman temple was established right there as the absolute focal point of Kainchi Dham. Slowly but surely, this location grew from just a quiet mountain corner into a major, bustling center for spiritual practice, selfless service, and profound peace.
Section 3. The core teachings.
Our sources are very clear on this. Neem Karoli Baba never gave grand sermons or complex religious doctrines. Not at all. His teachings were deeply accessible, universal truths that absolutely anyone from any background could apply to their life immediately. Think about these. Love everyone, serve everyone, remember God, speak the truth, harbor no hate, feed the hungry, see God in all. He taught that the easiest way to reach God was simply by rising above caste, religion, language, and economic status, and just serving humanity. So, the crucial point is this. Neem Karoli Baba believed that if a human being makes love, service, and compassion the fundamental basis of their life, they have achieved the highest form of worship. True religion, according to him, isn't limited to strict rituals or complex texts. It's found in how you treat the hungry, the needy, and literally the person standing right in front of you.
Section 4. A lasting global legacy.
During the 60s and 70s, Western spiritual seekers found their way to Kainchi Dham, actively looking for something beyond material success. One of the most prominent was the American spiritual teacher Ram Dass, formerly known as Richard Alpert. He documented his profound personal experiences with Maharaji in his renowned book Miracle of Love. And this brilliantly illustrates how documentation from Western seekers truly transformed Kainchi Dham into an international spiritual magnet, creating the very pathway for future innovators like Jobs and Zuckerberg to follow later on.
Neem Karoli Baba's physical presence came to an end on September 11, 1973, a day referred to as his Mahaprayan, or leaving the body. But listen, this date was by no means the end of his story. Following his passing, his teachings, his ashrams, and the Hanuman temples established in his name have only continued to grow in immense influence across India and internationally. Millions of people continue to draw deep inspiration from him every single day.
To understand exactly how alive that legacy is today, you really just have to look at June 15th. Every single year, on the foundation day of the ashram, a massive bandara, which is essentially a large-scale feast, and a fair are held at Kainchi Dham. And we aren't just talking about a few locals gathering around. Hundreds of thousands of devotees from all over India and the world descend on the ashram. The entire complex becomes this vibrant environment of devotion, community service, and the massive distribution of prasad, or blessed food. It is a living, breathing continuation of his directive to feed the hungry.
Which brings us to a final thought I want to leave you with today. We started by asking why the architects of our incredibly complex digital world traveled to a simple mountain ashram. Well, in an increasingly noisy, complicated world, is simple love and service the ultimate path we're actually looking for? Kainchi Dham stands today not just as a temple, but as a living symbol of peace, faith, and selfless service. It really forces us to reflect on whether this profound simplicity, loving everyone and serving everyone, is exactly what modern society so desperately needs right now. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope it leaves you curious to explore this amazing story even further.